For many years, scientists were wondering where this disease came from, how it was affecting the trees, what was the cause of the disease. We now know it's a fungus. We now know that the origin of that fungus is in the far east of Manchuria, in continental Europe, in Japan and China. It's a natural fungus in that area. So somehow it arrived in Europe.
In Polen sowie in anderen europäischen Ländern langsam verschwindet die Esche durch diese Krankheit. Und für uns, sowohl in anderen Ländern, ist sie eine wichtige Baumart. Deswegen möchten wir sie retten.
Ja, in Deutschland ist es auch eine relativ wichtige Baumart. Es sind so 2,4% der Waldfläche, die die Esche ausmacht. Aber sie spielt durchaus eine wichtige ökologische Rolle.
Ash is very important in Ireland because we have 20,000 hectares of ash, mostly planted by farmers who are very interested to grow ash trees because of the value of the timber, especially for making hurley sticks, which is the national sport.
We have discussed to exchange material, which is quite important, and the same holds true also when it comes to markers or the propagation of materials. Personally, I have to say that I'm satisfied insofar because the Austrian approach, which is quite similar also in the other European countries, have been highly acknowledged by the international community. So we are certainly on the right track in order to save this species in Europe.
I think since this ash dieback disease is so new, it has been a very steep learning curve for all of us to understand what's going on, to understand the disease, to understand how we can assess it, to assess whether we can actually find trees which are more resistant and most importantly that can produce offspring that can be planted in forests which have a high tolerance or even resistance. And I think in this process it's been really valuable to share information between partners across Europe.
We know from studies that there are very few genotypes and few ash trees that are tolerant. The resources are limited, so we have to make these kind of studies in a cost-efficient way as possible. So some kind of cooperation among nations within Europe is very, very important.
Even if we had resistant trees available today, it would be difficult to convince farmers to replant ash trees again, because this disease has caused a lot of problems for farmers, and they would want to see a demonstration that the resistant material is really stable. So I think that it will take many years. The fastest way to get material is by vegetative propagation, and in the long run I think breeding trees with resistance. So I think we're talking 15 or so years at least.